My client got approved for $50,000 at one bank with a 3-week-old LLC. Watch the entire video. I'm going to be breaking down this exact client's funding strategy and how they were able to get $50,000 in just 3 weeks. Right, hear me, in just 3 weeks, a brand new LLC. Right, so this business owner can scale and invest into the business. All right. If y'all don't know me already, my name is Daniel Dixon Jr. I'm an IT growth specialist and I help other software companies, cybersecurity, anybody in the tech space. I help you guys to scale your business by getting access to capital so that you can hire more employees, invest into better systems, and just make the world a better place, because the world is going to AI and I believe in it so much. But in this video, like I said, this business owner, right, just a 3-week-old LLC. I know a lot of y'all are having trouble to get access to capital. Maybe you don't know how, maybe you don't know the exact sequences, but in today's video, okay, I'm going to be showing you this exact client funding strategy. They only had a brand new LLC, right? Just 3 weeks old. And mind you, we got the $50,000 from one bank, and we're not even done, right? This is just one part of the process. So with this client's funding strategy, right, mind you, like this is the Zoom call that we're on, and then just off of 2 cards, we actually got approved for 4 cards, but for 2 of the cards they were 25K each. We're still waiting on the limits on the other cards, so we're gonna hear that in about a week or so at the time of this recording. And then we still have more banks to attack, so this client's gonna have a very good, you know what I'm saying, funding sequence and a lot of capital so that they can scale and invest in the business. Okay, but if you guys haven't already, like I said, go and click the subscribe button below so you get notified whenever I post, and you get notified whenever I'm dropping these gems. And go and hit the like button too, because that's going to help my channel a lot, and that's going to help me get to the next level as I'm providing the value so that y'all can get to the next level. So with this client's funding strategy, again, I never disclose personal information. I don't disclose information. I will give you enough though so you can see exactly, okay, where this client was, like where this client was now explain to the entire story. So for this business owner, like I said, this business owner, they just had an LLC that's created for 3 weeks. Okay, and this business owner wanted to use the capital to actually invest and scale into the business. They have a lot of goals. Okay, they came to me. They were a little skeptical at first. They didn't know exactly the process, but that's fine. I broke down the process. They trusted the process, and they seen results within just 3 weeks working with us. So more about the client's information. Okay, the reason why they were able to get $50,000 right away is because we leveraged a great banking relationship that they have. Okay, a great banking relationship that they already had was through Amex. Okay, so this client already had an Amex personal credit card. The credit card actually didn't have that high of a limit, but I'm going to explain to you why we're able to get such high limits on the cards, and I'll break down the exact strategy sequence. So when we're getting funding for clients, the first thing that we like to look at is what are their current banking relationships. So if you're looking to get funding, or let's just say if you're processing the funding getting right now, but you're getting stuck with these low limits, or like I said, you're keeping getting denied, the first banks that you should be focused on is the banks that you currently have a relationship with. Like let's say if you took out let's say if we went to, there's ABC Bank and then you had EFG Bank. At ABC Bank, right, you've been with them for 5+ years, you have a credit card, you took out an auto loan with them, maybe you have a certificate of deposit, maybe you have a checking account, maybe you have a personal account that has, you know, liquidity in it. They already trust you. You're already inside of their ecosystem. So that's Bank ABC. Let's just say Bank EFG. Okay, you don't have any products with them. Okay, but you know that they offer a lot of capital, so you go ahead and apply for them, but you probably end up with a low limit, or you probably get denied. The reason why that happens is because they don't know you yet. You don't have anything seasoned with them. You don't have any liquidity with them. You're gonna go get more funding with ABC Bank because you already established that relationship. Okay, this is a key term. It's called fractional reserve banking, and you have to understand like the game of banking. Okay, when you put your money inside of a bank, okay, the banks use your money to go make more money with your money, and then at the end of the year, okay, they give you they return it with interest. Okay, that's why they say open up a savings or checking account, earn 0.001%, whatever, at the end of the year. Okay, so if you're willing to give the bank more money, and you're able to take out more products for the bank, they can use that money to go make more money. That's why they want to keep it. That's why they want to give you more money. That's just one of the first things. So that's just kind of the mindset behind banking. Second, okay, if you already have the relationship with them, they already have your information. It's a lot easier for them to verify you. So you can have, like, we'll go over the credit scores and stuff, but because you're a lot easier to verify with you. Maybe you know some people inside the bank. Okay, that is the reason why you're able to get higher limits, because they trust you more. Especially if any product that you're taking out, you've kept that in good standing, they're more likely to give you more funding. Okay, so the reason why if it's challenging for you to get higher limits, okay, the reason why it's challenging for you to get higher limits is because you don't have a relationship with that bank currently. Okay, and then because you're not able to get this funding, okay, you're not able to, like I said, invest in the business. You can't invest into the new software. You can't invest into the new technology systems. Like, that's going to continue being a reality until you understand that you need to form a relationship with the bank. Okay, form a relationship with the bank, put some liquidity, put some capital, open up some products, form that relationship, and let it season. So when this client came to me, okay, we're going to talk about the client profile information. Based off this business owner's profile, they actually already had a good credit score with Experian and Equifax, but their TransUnion was actually at a 622. So another thing with Amex, and whenever you apply for these banks, is it's really important to understand where these banks pull from. Okay, now for Amex, sometimes with Amex, depending on where the client or where you live, they can pull from 2 or 3 different bureaus. They can pull from 2 bureaus, right? Some states only pull from 1 bureau, so you just have to know that. That's why it's very important working with the specialist that can take care of that for you. Okay, for this client, okay, let's say for instance we applied for this bank, we were just shotgunning applications and didn't actually look at this client's profile. We would probably get denied because if a bank pulled both Experian and TransUnion, they're gonna look at TransUnion like, yeah, we're gonna deny you. So it's very important that you understand this information. That's why you hire a funding company to do this for you, right? So with this client score, right, they had a 719 Experian, 717 Equifax. Their oldest credit card is from 2022. So they had about 3 years of like total credit history, but that doesn't mean that their average age was 3 years, which is what I highly recommend. So even though I tell you guys, I'm going to make another video about exactly how to qualify for funding, what the banks are actually looking for. In some situations, it depends, right? It varies. Not a lot of times, but sometimes you can break the rules depending on the relationship that you have with the bank. So with this person, okay, they were already with Amex for a period of time. Okay, they already had a personal relationship established. Second, okay, the highest credit limit. So they actually had their highest credit limit was actually $14,000. So because the highest credit limit is $14,000, and they had more credit limits that were close to that, when Amex looked at the application, okay, we're gonna look at this. We're most likely to match the credit limits. Okay, we call this comparable credit. So this client had over $20,000 plus in comparable credit. No wonder why they were able to give her this business owner $50,000 and 0% interest for 12 months because they were already comparing the credit that she had. Okay, so for the negative items for Experian and Equifax, they had 0, but for TransUnion, okay, this business owner actually had a charge off, so we couldn't really touch TransUnion. They're in this disputing process. So because they're in the disputing process, we're only going to focus on the banks that only pull from Experian and Equifax. If you don't know the sequences, okay, that's the reason why you can't get the funding. That's the reason why you're holding yourself back in the business, because your ego wants to know everything. Okay, book a call with us below. We'll take a look at your profile and we'll structure you and we'll strategize you depending on your current situation. Okay, it's not your job to spend the time with the sequences, or it's not your time. You have too many things to worry about inside the business. The only focus should be hiring a company to take care of it for you. That should be the only focus for it right now. And you can do that by booking a call below and scheduling a call with us. So the most recent account was from April of this year. And then as far as hard inquiries, so they actually had more than, at the time of we applied, they actually had 6 inquiries. We had to remove some before that. Equifax had 1 and TransUnion they had 6. So another rule that was broken here was this client actually had 6 hard inquiries, so I advise y'all to have less than 3 per bureau. But because we had this client do certain things before, as they were going to the Capital X system, okay, this client was able to still get the funding even though they had 6 hard inquiries right within the past 12 months. Okay, so they were still able to get approved. And then, as like I said, y'all can see here, that this client, like I said, they got approved for 25,000 each. This was just two of the business credit cards. We still have more applications in the process at the time of recording this video, so we have more applications going through this. But this was just the quick funding strategy that, like I said, for this client, they were able to get $50,000 in just a 3-week-old LLC. You don't need to have a LLC that's 2 or 3 years. It definitely helps. And as the game is changing, okay, some states that if you want to, like say, if you want to work with a relationship manager, they're going to require you to be at least 2 years in business. So the stuff is constantly changing. Okay, but if you're updated on the strategies, which we are, okay, that is why we're able to still get funding for the clients. And even though this client's TransUnion report is still being worked on, right, we're still able to maneuver through that and still create a strategy around that, so they're able to invest in the business and get to the next level. So this was just a quick video that, you know, very quickly within 3 weeks, we were able to raise $50,000 in capital for this client, even though they had a TransUnion report still messed up, right? And then they were only 3 weeks inside just creating the LLC. Brand new business owner that's ready to start up and finally get to the next level. So if you guys like this video, I want y'all to leave a like. Like I said, this helps me a lot. This helps us support, and I appreciate all your guys' support. If you're not, and if you haven't already, right, go ahead and click the subscribe button below so you get notified of our post and you get notified when I'm dropping this sauce and this information. Okay. And if you align with what I'm talking about, and if you're ready to make your next big move inside the business, whether you're a startup or you're ready to just, you know, add more employees, maybe want to add more systems, you want to delegate your time so you can focus on your personal life. Okay, I understand as a CEO, okay, sometimes we get trapped up in trying to figure out and focus on the systems of the business, okay, but having access to capital that allows you to have peace and clarity of what you need to do and just free up your time to what you actually enjoy doing in life. I want you to put that call below so you can hop on a call with us, and like I said, we'll go over your situation and we'll customize a personal strategy so we can get you to the next level. With that being said, I hope y'all have a good rest of the day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.